All right, so here's 4 basic moves that will dovetail nicely with all the pressing you're doing in training. Number 1, if you can get to some rings, these are going to be your shoulder's best friend. But first, I like to do just some pec and chest end range strength training. So the difference between this and say just a passive stretch where you're hanging is I'm trying to keep my muscles a little bit active and feel some press out of this position. Now the key with the end range stuff again is to be gentle and to take your time, but even a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. So I'm basically keeping some tension in the muscle, keeping it dynamic, and going until I feel a comfortable stretch, strength, impulse, and then coming out of it with a little bit of activation as well. Now with the rings, you can do all kinds of other positions, like based on what feels good to you, where the tightness is, but just be gentle with it. But for our purposes and for pressing generally, I want to see a little bit of just end range pec strengthening, just gentle. There's other ways to achieve this, but for now we're just using the rings. Second move, now that we're on the rings, is just a good old-fashioned bodyweight row. With these two, again, I am looking for, in my own practice, some feeling of the stretch strength sensation. So I like to feel the stretch at the bottom, not completely limp, but stretching into it, and then also hold at the top. Okay, feeling a stretch. Hold it at the top. Feeling a stretch. Oh, hold it at the top. All right, and even a few sets of like 5 of those will go a long way. So next, we're going to move to our face pulls. If you can't find a face pull strap like this at your gym, I would highly, highly, highly recommend grabbing ATGs. It's the best that I've used by a long shot. So it's got some extra length. The grips are awesome, and it helps seems to just have the right amount of tension at the top. Like you could imagine if there was, if they were shorter, you'd feel like you're getting kind of stuck. But this is super, super smooth. So I think they designed it. The design is awesome. But anyway, back to business. We're going to be working some face pulls. Really paying attention to this position at the top. Slow, controlled on the way down. Stretch at the bottom. All right, and guys, pick a weight with this stuff that's really manageable, because honestly, you could probably pick a weight with these that you could do the same number of repetitions as you did push-ups that day. Now, depending on where you're at, that might be an insane number. But, if you did 100 push-ups that day, see if you could grab a weight where you could eventually work to where 100 repetitions of this as well is also comfortable. And if you could get that in balance or in proportion, I really think your pressing is just going to feel incredible, and it'll maintain your shoulder health. Again, this is kind of the opposite of all this kind of position you'll find yourself in with your ruck or with your body armor, or even doing push-ups. A lot of it is the shoulders are kind of pinched down, so anything you can do to strengthen the opposite of that, well, first open it up with the rings and then strengthen the opposite of that. It's going to be really awesome. And then also, just as another addition to regular range pressing, say a push-up or a bench press, try to add in some form of full range pressing. Even if you're, you know, with the long range stuff and the end range stuff and the full range stuff, it really is best just to take your time with it and to really pay attention subjectively to the level of comfort and the sensation of the stretch strength. So the end range stuff and the full range stuff really is eventually, like, the numbers are a decent metric of your progress. But initially, I think when you're starting out, you should probably pay more attention to the subjective sensation, the stretch strength sensation, and to see if you're actually getting the full range, and just to stay comfortable with it. The rest of what you're doing in training is designed to make you uncomfortable, so it's not a bad thing during your recovery to stay within the realm of what is comfortable. So in this case, even if, you know, just get on something that allows you to do some full range pressing and just move in and out of that full range of the shoulder comfortably. So like I'm feeling like the front of my shoulder stretching. I'm not trying to go to where I'm like, oh, my joints are feeling all out of socket and stuff. It's staying controlled, but I do feel a stretch. And then as you get stronger, you can go a little deeper. But for these, you don't need that many repetitions. You're not going to do as many repetitions on the full range stuff as you are probably doing in like a smoke session or a normal push-up PT routine. So again, those are 4 moves. These are good adjuncts to what you're already doing, more than likely. And I think if you can fit in, you know, ideally probably whenever you do a really solid press session, add these 4 in as finishers, or add them in throughout the week, sprinkle them in, however you do it. But just make sure that you know, you're getting the opposite of the press really built up along with your pressing, and I think you'll increase your ability in the shoulder and have long-term a less painful experience. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.